Hi guys, Rainel here. Water just got its new poster boy. It's an OP unit, right, Astrius? And I'm skipping him because I don't have the Viz right now. And in fact, I've skipped most of the recent Water releases. I have Lara Croft's Vision card max, but I skipped Lara Croft, I'm skipping Astrius, I skipped the Miranda Vision card that was very recent, I don't have Farm built, so I'm kind of forced to look back at Aerith, which is my most recent Water unit, as my newest acquisition, and then Tidus, Winter Victora, who are older units. But what I wanted to do today is run them in Arena and have fun with kind of a retro Water team. Is this going to be competitive with the new meta Water team or meta teams in general? I don't know, we'll see. I think if there is one map where this team can work, it's the current Arena map, because there is a lot of elevation, which advantages ranged attackers like Winter Victora. So that's really what we want to try and leverage, and then because of the movement of our AI, and the fact that this map gives us some time to buff, we are able to get somebody like Tidus to buff everybody with haste, and then Aerith to give everybody magical barriers, re-raise, and etc. We'll try it, we'll see how it goes. So before we fight, let's see what the setup we have. So Tidus has 8,000 HP, but he's fairly squishy compared to other units we see recently. So he's only got in the 20-something defense, and he doesn't really have the resistances of somebody who takes a lot of hits. So if I'm lucky, he dies in 2 hits and we can heal him back, but he could potentially get one-shot by a powerful attacker. In terms of abilities on-off, we have everything on in his setup. Cheer, I'll try it on in the beginning, I might turn it off afterwards, it will depend on how his AI behaves, but this is it. And then in the Paladin sub-job, I have Saintly Wall off because he will use that before his haste, and haste is the reason he's in my team, so I really need him to use that first. And then we have Winter Victora, who is there for damage. She only has 1100 attack, but she's got a ton of mod. So she has missile attack up for water units, we have water attack up, and we have some form of attack up as well in the secondary slot. She is going to hit very hard for a unit that only has that much attack, and then she's got a lot of defense penetration as well, so defense is not a way to mitigate her damage. But at 6,500 HP, she is going to die very quickly. She doesn't have the resistances of a tank, so I could see her getting one-shot by an enemy if they ever get to her. So we'll see what happens. In terms of ability on-off, I have everything on in her main job, and then in the Dual Gunner sub-job, I also have everything on except Stun Shot because I dislike that ability. Finally, we have Aerith, who is there. She probably never will use her re-raise like this, but it's a good TMR on which I have good runes set up, so I wanted to use it anyways. But what she'll do is turn 1, she's going to use her magical barrier on everyone, then she's going to begin casting re-raise on somebody else, and then we'll see what her AI does. I'm not too sure. I do have everything on in her main job, and I chose the White Mage sub-job because of Sorcerous Storm, so it gives her an offensive option if she ever needs it, and then I know that if I'm putting her as a Time Mage, she might end up being weirdly quickening me out of order, and I would prefer that not to happen. She could be tanky, I guess, against magical attacks with 47 Spirit, but it's really not the way. She's not designed for this. I mainly built her for high agility and then high magic, so her healing is relevant. So that's the way she's going to go. With that said, let's go ahead and fight. Okay, so we have yet to test the team comp. We're going to do a first run against this Velis, Celes, Astrius team comp. Now Astrius being extremely powerful. Not sure how that's going to go. They have all the recent water units, whereas we have old water units, and then their setup has a Chaos Odin and the Crace Vision card, which we lack. So there's a lot of newer stuff on their end. If I had the Miranda Vision card, it's one I would definitely run onto my team, the extra agility being very hard to replace. Chaos Odin would also be an improvement, but I don't feel like it's too major. I feel like it's mostly the units being a little bit outdated that might do a big difference. I'm not too sure how the AI is set up, but if we did set Tidus up so that he uses haste on everybody on our team, that's fine. We're kind of matching the speed that Velis brings, and at that point, what I'm afraid of is the healing maybe not being enough, but that's something we'll see. So enemy Astrius begins with his HP absorb, which is not courage, so that's very interesting. It's something that if you're setting him up for the first time, you might not be aware of, but he doesn't start exactly the way you would want him to in terms of AI. So now Tidus does begin moving back and using his haste buff, which is exactly what we want him to do. I don't want him to go too far forward early because he's not a unit that's tanky enough to take hits from someone like Astrius. That guy just has way too much damage for us. Unfortunately, though, we do have Victoria moving forward quite early on, and I fear she's in range of Astrius. Okay, she's not, and this guy now uses bells on his second turn instead of anything else, so he's still not that tanky. We have re-raise on Titus, which is not ideal. Maybe I should change my setup so that it's used a bit differently. And then at that point, she's going to stay back and start healing whenever she can. And fortunately for us, we had one of our team move backwards, allowing them to keep getting buffed. He should have his Courage ability already, but I guess this player set the AI up in a slightly weird way. So we're going to use Stunning Blade. We are very far from being able to kill anyone on the enemy team so far. Magic Shield, I guess that's not too bad. Let's see what happens here. Astrius finally moves in range and decides to hit our Titus, who takes a pretty heavy hit right there, but he's still alive. So break spread, that's fine. Now Titus out of AP to do anything else, still hitting the enemy team's tank, and now he's going to dodge a hit. What the hell is going on? Now that's the third, I believe, slow healing that I see coming out from the enemy Velis, and that is a crazy healer because he keeps the AP of everybody on his team up. So like, while our Titus is still alive, he is, well, first, he's going to die from this hit by Astrius normally, but also, he's out of AP, even if he survives. Okay, I guess barely stays on the field. Dispel Spread now, that's going to remove any buffs, which is always good, but we're stuck with basic attacks, and that guy, well, he's still able to heal. He's not done yet. Now, we finally lose Titus, but Re-Raise brings him right back. Let's see if Aerith casts quickly enough, and no, she does not. So this time, she is unable to keep us healed, but apparently she was deciding to attack Astrius, and her hit did basically 0 damage. Now, another Dispel Spread is going to hit all of them, and we actually take down the enemy Astrius, but that's really because he didn't use Courage. At that point, enemy Celes is extremely inaccurate, so it's kind of a weird 1v2, where our Aerith is a source of damage, and we've burned through the entire AP pool given by Bells on Victoria, which is kind of impressive. Let's see if Aerith can make anything happen here. She's now hitting both, still not enough damage to do anything. Enemy team heals, and oh, I think the Evocation gives us the win. There's only 4 turns left, so that means they don't get another Velis turn to heal. Our setup might be very weird, but apparently it's managed to hold on to the match this time around. So she plays one more time, she still has AP, but it doesn't really matter. We end up winning by HP. Okay, so we've had a good fight won, but now I have a very interesting team in the enemy slot. They have double Earth, very powerful units, built with a lot of offense on their setup, and then a Jeume as protection. I am very scared because I feel like the amount of damage a unit like Oberon brings might be able to just one-punch Titus over and over, and the way we've set him up currently, he's going to gain a magic-based barrier from Aerith, which will not help, and he will not be using his own physical barrier from his Paladin stop job, so we could end up being in some trouble because of that, but they don't really have a source of haste, they should not be as fast as our team is, and I feel like with the just agility advantage we're going to have overall, we might still have a pretty good shot. So here we go, that's kind of a useless buff from Aerith, but it's still useful to just put him in the right position, so she gets hasted. So it's the main reason why I'm still not turning it off, for example. So here, enemy team moves forward very quickly, and unfortunately for us, they are very spread out, which could lead to 2 different things. Either Victoria is going to hit only one, or what I think she's going to do is move forward and hit everyone. I was wrong? Great. So a hit like this on Jeume is great because it's a dispel attack. It removes hate from her. So now she is no longer the primary target for everybody on our team. So that gives us a little bit of leeway. I'm also surprised we were able to hit for that much damage, actually. So now Titus takes a pretty heavy hit. There's a chance he just dies from this because Oberon hits like a truck. But no, apparently we still have a little bit of HP even after Jeume's attack, so very impressive little bit of bulk right there. Victoria then chooses Horizontal Shot, which, ow, poor Oberon's taking a pretty massive hit from us so far. it's really, we're benefiting from the haste here, which gives us the ability to play again with almost everyone on our team. So Sphere Shot takes out Jeume, one enemy down. We're going to be able to finish Oberon, hopefully, with Split Shot this time, so another dual gunner ability. We have Aerith that's still able to go, but a Warp Strike just misses Winter Victra. What the hell are these inaccurate enemies? So I guess we just take them out. So far, so good. Now this time there's another Jeume, but also another Velis, and then MMoore. This team we do have a chance against, because I feel like most of their damage is going to be magical based, and we are going to get the magical barrier from Aerith. And then normally they should never be able to get to Aerith to silence her with their attacks, because she has an AI that really keeps her far back. And then finally, we might like the damage to kill a hasted team with a Velis healer, because we've seen in match 1, killing them is very, very hard. But hey, it's just something we're going to have to test. I did make a major change to the AI of Titus since fight number 1, where I turned off Cheer, just so he uses Noctis' TMR, which will give him a little bit of an AP refresh. It's not a lot, but it is a lot more than Cheer would give him instead. So I hope it's going to do, it's going to have a good impact on our team. So here we go, we're using the haste ability. Everybody is now very, very quick, and but their team as well, because that's what Velis does. Velis is a fantastic support. I'm not going to say I regret not pulling for him because I didn't have the budget for it, but he's definitely strong. Something I like though, Sniper Job is extremely valuable, maybe even more now than when it was released, because of its ability to dispel haste, and it's become such a common buff that being able to remove it like this just has incredible value in my perception. So here we go, he heals everybody back. Oh, not himself though, so that is very interesting. We're going to be able to maybe kill him. Yup, take down the enemy healer, because for some reason, healing himself did not seem like a good idea to him. Now, Titus is in range of Tuning Blade. He's going to have a bit of hate, which I like. But Jeume still able to try to hit everyone, but misses. What? How many enemy misses are we going to see in this video? So now, oh, what the? Did she just one-punch more from the backline? Damn. Alright. Now for this fight, I'm walking into completely unknown territory because I haven't seen any 120 Joker fight my teams yet, so we're going to discover what they do. Looking at their setup, they also have a lot of long-range attacks, so we're going to be in a missile against missile matchup, not necessarily good for us. And then they have good accuracy across the board, so we saw a couple misses in the other fights. That's definitely not going to happen this time. I feel like maybe with the haste we're going to have some form of an edge, but I'm also very scared that Winter Victra just rushes forward before the rest of our guys and gets chained down. So yes, we have a really good healer, but we don't have a way to bring her back if she goes down. So that is something that could be very scary. I guess we'll see what happens. They have a setup that increases their resistance to multiple elements. I'm kind of happy to see that because it means Prompto didn't generate a lot of AP yet. So he doesn't have bells, he doesn't have a way to just keep spamming. Now, we have our usual setup, we move back, we haste everyone, and now I believe Victoria goes again. And so, nope, not yet. Okay, so enemy Black Rose uses this, and then please move forward and into my attack range. Yes, she did. Alright, great. So, nope, we did move forward exactly the way I hoped we would not. So now I'm pretty sure she's in range from everybody from the enemy team, and that might mean death. Yeah, so that's a really good setup move that they've just used, and now Prompto will be able to finish her off with just a basic attack. So I said he was low in AP, doesn't matter. We've lost our primary source of damage here, and considering the amount of damage the enemy team showed that they're able to do to us, I'm pretty sure we won't even get to them. And then, you know, Dispel Spread removes the haste, which is really bad for us. Yeah, Joker has pretty solid damage. So we're going to lose one of our lives. Black Rose says, it won't matter, you'll lose the second one immediately. And at that point, I can't really imagine Aerith carrying this by herself. This entire enemy team is very fast and very hard-hitting. This guy, out of AP, doesn't really do anything, but yeah, Black Rose unleashes the Limit Break. I believe we barely have 5,000 or 6,000 HP on Aerith. She is probably going down right here. Nope, never mind. Takes 300 damage. I don't know how much spirit she has, but I guess a whole lot. So, Prompto renews the Aura of Blessing. Joker still doesn't have a lot of AP, but Leg Shot is more than enough, so takes us out. Now, for this final fight, we're gonna hit an evasion team, which for me is very scary. This Zazan has insane evasion. He's got the best evasion Esper, which is Chaos Odin. Not as much luck as I would expect, so he probably isn't running the optimal setup. Oh no, he's done Heresy. He doesn't have a luck up 10% passive. He doesn't have a luck up passive here because he went for the evasion bonus on the set, which is a bad decision. Don't do that, because if you're running the luck passive, you're gaining accuracy as much as you're gaining evasion. Whereas if you just pick evasion, well, you're losing out on an entire facet of what you could gain. So we are going to punish them horribly by attacking them, and hopefully he's not going to put me to shame by making us miss all of our attacks on them. One thing about our setup is we are not designed to beat evasion very well. Winter Victora is a very accurate member of our team, but we don't have any other source of accuracy buff. And then our Titus is one of the less accurate Titus spells that we could do. There are ways to give him guaranteed hits. We could have some accuracy pieces of gear for some extra accuracy, but we don't have any of that. So I don't expect him to be very accurate, but he could be hitting the other guys, and then Winter Victora takes down Zazan, hopefully, and hopefully Velis doesn't heal him a whole lot either, because that would also be pretty bad. So I guess we'll see. Again, the magic barrier from Aerith, not very handy in this matchup. It will help against some of Velis' attacks, I guess, but I don't expect him to be the main source of damage, because he'll be in healing mode for pretty much the entire fight. So first things first, we get hasted, and Victora should begin shooting, but no! Zazan reaches us first, and that is actually very, very good for us, because first of all, Victora doesn't move out of position, and then it forces Aerith into healing immediately, and her limit break is going to give everybody extra defense against the purely physical offensive team. So yeah, really good beginning for us. But then, as I said, Titus not the most accurate in our setup, so just wastes his entire AP pool by missing the enemy Zazan, who then gets donated some extra AP, because why not? So he's going to eat Break Spread. I think that was 9,000 damage on Zazan. So at that point, yeah, he is, he's lost one of his lives, and even if he heals back, it won't matter that much. But the AP donated by Velis, really powerful for him. He was able to throw down a second Taunting Blade immediately. At that point, though, we heal back to full once more. So I guess their Velis never hasted, whereas our team was hasted from the very beginning. So at that point, he's kind of alone against everybody on our team, and even if he uses an attack, we have our magical shield for a couple times, we have extra spirit from Aerith. I really don't know what he could do, so I think he's going to try to attack us one more time. Meanwhile, Titus is like, oh, haste has expired, let me make you the fastest unit in the world again. And Velis cannot haste himself if he's alone. He needs a partner to be able to give himself that buff. So he just walks back into range and gets sniped down by an arrow. So that went better than I expected. I did not think I would win that many fights, and unlike some videos where I record like 10, 15 fights and show you the best, I've only recorded 5 fights for this team. This is what you see is what I've done. So it happened like this, it was a very fun run. I'll keep playing around funny teams over the weekend, and I'll try to record some more fights, but I really feel like just running old stuff and trying to make them work against newer enemies. In this video, I did avoid fighting light teams because I wasn't built to fight against full evasion teams, and then I also avoided lightning teams because, you know, I'm mono water. Maybe Astrius can do it, but definitely not my current team. But against those we did face, it went pretty well, except for Dark. They had more missile attacks than we did, and they just completely obliterated our team. But this is it. Let me know if there's a specific team or element you'd like me to focus on for future videos like this, and I'll be happy to do it. And then outside of this, thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon.